Hi friends, this is Dainty Tank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Please Be Happy. Welcome back only because we played the free demo for it. This is an absolute joy that just dropped on us from Studio Alien earlier this month, and I haven't gotten the time to get to it, mainly because we had other things going on. Yeah, we're busy, but it's okay. You know why? It's now time to come back to Please Be Happy. And you can see the demo if you want to, but this is the full game release. This is everything. And it's voiced. It's not only like voiced with voice actors. Woo! Big props. But it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I'm so pumped to play this with you. So without further ado, let's get started.
New beginnings are exciting, aren't they?
Aren't they? Ooh. Fog settled over the forest, far from the villages and towns, and with it came silence. Birch trees shivered, pondering the weather, dropped their leaves in fright. Streams bubbled, unseen by man, and babbled like the birds in the trees. In the middle of the forest was a grove, and in the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen, once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death was home to an abundance of life. A line of frantic ants ran to and fro. Mushrooms, cloud-like and pillowy, sprouted across one side, like a footpath for fairies. Nearby, an old toad flopped contentedly in the mud. And inside the deep, damp hollow of the tree, something slept. A traveler strolled into the grove. Their steps were slow and tired, and they spotted the log with relief, like greeting an old friend. Weary from the day's journey, the traveler sat to take a rest. Whoosh. With a scrambling of nails on rotten wood, a shadow bolted from inside the log to a tall grass nearby. Traveler watched the brush rustle as a faint patch of fur appeared within. Hello there, friend. I didn't mean to disturb you. They held their hand towards the grass, offering a piece of dried fish. At first, there was no reaction. And then, first a snout appeared, quivering as it tested the air, then followed the rest of the fox, sleek and tawny. As she took several slow steps forward, her amber eyes were alight with mistrust, but also with wild curiosity. The stranger sat unfazed, their offering still outstretched. They dared to meet the fox's eyes, and in that glance felt something kindred. As kindred spirits? I really want to play Kindred Spirits on the Roof with you. I don't know if you're gonna be interested in it, though, because it's older, but I want to play it. As the fox closed her jaws around the gift, a bond was made. Maybe we aren't so different, you and I. The traveler returned the next day, and the day after that, each day they brought some treat for their new friend. Each day the fox's steps grew a little more trusting. One day, when the traveler arrived, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
Hello, my friend. Have you been waiting long?
No. The fox peered up at the traveler. Her amber eyes were warm and trusting. She accepted her gift of meat, gnawing it at the traveler's feet, then and there. The traveler sat, imprinting into their mind the feeling of the wood beneath them, the clean air around them, and the tender bond of companionship.
Where is your home, little fox? Is it here in this grove? Or do you come to see me too? This will be the last time, I'm afraid. Because I'll be going home tomorrow.
No.
Home is such a small place compared to the rest of the world. Yet, it's some place I can't wait to return to. I wish I could bring you with me, little friend. I wish that you could see the world too. Your home is all around me though, isn't it? It's wherever the trees are, wherever the leaves fall. Little fox, Perhaps it's you who's the more fortunate of the two of us.
All too soon, it was time for the traveler to go. As they bade goodbye to the forest and to the fox, they knew that they would never not return, but that they would carry the memories with them, always. The next day, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently. Chapter 1 of Foxes and Fables. That is gorgeous.
We've now docked at Wellington Skyport.
Okay.
Thank you for flying with Kiwi Airlines, and we hope to see you again.
Kiwi meaning New Zealand. And Wellington is a major city. The intercom's announcement is muffled in the closet where I'm hiding, just like the clatter of the seatbelts and the chattering of the passengers getting ready to disembark. I wiggle around impatiently, sore from crouching in here for, I don't even know how long it's been. Hours, for sure. The last few minutes always feel like they take the longest. Ooh, ears. A parade of footsteps begins to pass by outside my door. It's time. Listen carefully, waiting for the gap in the crowd. When it comes, I stand up and push the door open in a single movement. I have a wink to the shocked-looking lady that stepped out in front of. She doesn't even have time to gasp before I'm out of her sight. Humans, they're always kind of slow. I nod at the smiling flight attendant as I pass her by, and then throw up my hood to cover my face. It's been a while since I last flew, but it doesn't seem like things have changed much. It's always been harder to sneak on than it is to sneak off. I follow the crowd to the end of the walkway and step out onto the ground. After a long stretch, I take a deep breath, savor the fresh air after being stowed away for so long. Wellington Skyport, New Zealand.
I made it!
You made it. My breathless voice joins the pleasant hum of the skyport. A few clouds drift lazily overhead, almost within arm's reach. The sound of the waves rolling onto the shore is like a lullaby. It makes me want to bury into the sand and take a nap. But I can't. First, I need to get out of here, and there's one more challenge ahead. Up ahead, the snaking line of passengers splits as people are funneled into a few security stations. And while I'm too far back to hear what the guards are saying, it looks like they're examining a little booklet from each traveler before letting them pass. Even sure like processes and procedures. I definitely don't have a booklet like that. Glancing around, I hope to find another way out. An open window would work, or even an unguarded exit. I'm pretty sneaky when I need to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to leave is to go through security. Without any other option, I join one of the lines to prepare myself. I have to do this the old-fashioned way. The line moves briskly as passengers are cleared one after another, and I'm almost at the front of the queue before I know it. As the passenger in front of me approaches the booth, I listen closely.
Good afternoon. Passport, please.
Friendly guard.
Right here. It's good to be home.
I'm sure. Welcome back.
He stamps something on the man's booklet and then hands it back to him, and he continues on out the
Next.
skyport. That's me. I don't know what they'll do to people without any papers, but I don't want to find out. Sure, it involves lots of questions, being escorted around, and other unpleasant stuff. Casually approaching the gate, I put on my brightest, friendliest smile while keeping a slight distance. With my breathing steady and tail calm, I'm sure I put on a convincing act.
Passport, please.
Of course!
I fumble around my pockets pretending to look for my passport. Instead, I grab a useless, clunky phone that I've been carrying around and let it clatter to the ground at the guard's feet. As expected, he bends down to retrieve it for me.
Oh, let me get that for you.
Uh-huh. And I make a run for it, bolting ahead and rushing past the security booths as quickly as I can.
Hey, you, wait!
Stop!
Stressed. Stressed guard. By the time they realize what's happened, I already have a few seconds head start. My inhuman speed combined with the natural chaos of the skyport should also buy me a bit of time. Still, I've got to get him off my tail. Hi. Dashing through the skyport doors and out to the road outside, I don't even have time to take in the city. Without stopping for a breath, I run into narrow streets while weaving between cars and shocked bystanders. Being seen by so many people like this is annoying, but it doesn't matter by tomorrow. Putting that thought on my mind, I vault over a low wall into a nearby alley and land in a crouch. Out of sight, but only for a moment, I close my eyes and relax my muscles. All feeling disappears, except a slight warmth against my neck. My secret weapon. The unremarkable looking necklace is one of my only possessions, and by far the most important. A certain one of the beads strung around my neck begins to heat up in response to my will, a soothing warmth flowing through my body. My hands and feet begin to morph first, the fur chasing up my arms and legs as they distort and shorten. The sensation was so bizarre the first few times I tried. It's amazing how it's become second nature by now. Closing my eyes, I let my body and head shift and turn. The face is always a little more uncomfortable. My once human face changing and lengthening into a snout, with some difficulty. The process complete after only a few seconds. I opened my eyes, not as a human, but as a fox. I dart away without waiting, far quicker on 4 legs than I ever could be on 2. Obstacles like the stack of garbage cans ahead would be a pain to get past as a human, but instead, we will filt between the gaps without slowing down.
That's her! I know it!
I know it. Sounds like the security guard hasn't given up on me yet. Pick up the pace, running as fast as my paws will take me. His heavy breathing gets farther and farther away. In just a moment or two, I know I'm safe. I don't know where I am, but it's not like I knew where I was when I started running. That's a good point. You don't know where you are, but you didn't know where you were to begin with, so why does it matter? I must feel bad for the guy who was chasing me. He never stood a chance. Even in the crowded city streets, there's no way anyone or anything can outrun me. The wind just wishes it could keep up with me. Comfortable that the danger's past, I slip into another alley. Once I'm sure that I'm alone, I close my eyes and concentrate on the form I want to take once more. Familiar, flowing warmth runs through me again, my body stretching and deforming at my command. A few seconds later, and I open my eyes to glance at my hands.
Better luck next time.
Get it, Miho. Brushing the dust off myself, I nonchalantly stroll out of the alleyway and back into the street. The odd person walks by on this errand or another, not paying any attention to me, just the way I like it.
Left, right, past the turn, left.
Left, right, past the turn. Mapping out my path in my head, I look for a way to the main roads. It'll be easier to get my bearings there. I pick turns at random without any real destination in mind. I like that. Actually, that's how the dainty wife and I decided on where to go. It was like our exploring capability for our dates. We would basically just take turns just picking a direction. So, like, I would pick, and I would be like left, straight, or right, and I'd be like, oh, pick left, and then like go to the next like decision point, and she would have to pick, and they'd pick like right or something like that. And we always had like a break for like city green spaces that are really pretty. We would always stop and take a break for those, or we would purposely aim for them sometimes. They're a lot of fun. Exploring cities is fun. When I decided to make the journey to Wellington, it was pretty impulsive. I'd overheard another pair of travelers talking about it and how beautiful a city it was. With a moment now to take in the scenery, I could see they weren't wrong. The streets around here seem like a mix of homes and businesses. Everything is very colorful. Even the brick walls are covered in pictures and paint. In the distance, I can see green hills that are lined with houses, as well as green hills that are completely empty. There are a lot of hills, now that I look around some. Oh, rainbow! 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 Sorry. That's right. Rainbow! Rainbow! From just a few streets away, the sound of pedestrians and busy intersections floats my way. I head in its direction, taking shortcuts through yards and driveways when it's convenient. In one lawn, a big dog growls at me as I walk past. But when I transform and growl back, he tucks his tail and runs away. Dogs and I have always had an understanding. After squeezing through one last narrow side street, finally emerge onto what looks like a main road. There's no cars here, but tons of people on foot. There are brightly colored signs and decorations on most of the buildings. In the middle street, there are fountains and benches and trees and all kinds of stuff. The best part is the variety of stores. I'd say the best part is the rainbows. I'm just saying. When I stroll past a few of the windows and peek in, I can already tell that I'll be able to do most of my shopping around here. There are stores with food and clothes and just about everything else. I don't have any money on me, but that isn't exactly a problem. What is a problem is that it's too crowded. Dodging a couple of security guards is one thing, but trying to escape down a busy street with lots of people could be too much even for me. I'll just have to remember where this place is and make another visit later after all the stores are closed. Then a man in a bright coat hurries past me, talking loudly on his phone in a language I don't recognize. He's so distracted that he doesn't even notice when his wallet falls out of his pocket and onto the sidewalk. I notice, of course. Seeing an opportunity, I zip over and snatch it up, prying open the black leather pockets I find.
Score!
A couple of bills, and what I figure is the local currency, slide the money out and into a pocket of my jacket. By now, a man is so far ahead that he's almost out of sight. I have to hurry to catch up to him and give him back his wallet. He barely even says thank you.
I should have just kept the whole thing.
Not worth it. Not worth it. It's only fair that I get a little something for myself, since it's not like he would ever have gotten it back without me. Head back to my bench and inspect my prize. A blue bill and a brown one. They feel sturdy, nothing like the paper I expected.
1, 0, 10.
10.
And 5. So 15.
15. 15 isn't much. I definitely should have kept the whole wallet. Oh well, at least this should be enough to buy myself something to drink. My thirst is starting to get the better of me as I haven't even had anything since I snuck onto the airship. Following my nose, I walk down the busy street until I find one of the many cafes lining the path. The sign above its front door has a picture of a bell on it. A charming bell rings out from above the door as I enter. Can't help but savor the wave of refreshing, cool air washing over me, which feels even better after so much running.
Hiya! Welcome to the Bell House.
I just noticed you have wings. And puffs like this, that means probably swan? Wow, hi. The barista behind the counter is the only other person in the store right now. As I nod in greeting, she leans forward with a cup with one hand and a pen in the
What
other.
can I get you? We're having a special on affogatos if you want to try one. Usually, they're like $7, but today, they're only 5. I'd like a...
I'm not sure what an affogato is. Isn't that like a vegetable? Not wanting to commit to a strange sounding drink, I look at the menu instead. Unfortunately, it's full of handwritten, spindly letters. I can't even read a single word, and there are no helpful pictures. Safe option it is.
I'll just have a vanilla latte.
Not bad.
Ugh, boring. But okay. Name? Miho.
It's my first time testing out what the name sounds like, and I decided I like it. Good. Miho. Aww. I decided on the airship that was the name I would use here in Wellington. I've used so many names throughout my life that I can't remember most of them. For each new city that I visit, I come up with something new. That's great. Good for you. You are allowed to choose your name. I mean, as someone who chose their own name, like, I'm happy with my name. And you're allowed to change your name. And it's valid if you change your name. And especially for Miho. Because Miho's been around for a long time. Spoiler. Foxes don't have any use for names, so no one ever gave me one. Scribble something on the cup with a black marker. If that's how this name looks, then I'm even more pleased with it.
$4.50, please.
I hand her the brown bill, and she gives me a big coin with a picture of a boat on it.
All right. I'll have this ready for you in no time.
All right. She sure seems enthusiastic. I nod as she spins around and starts working, looking around somewhere to sit aside on a seat by the window with the sun pouring in. Near the entrance of the cafe, there's a wire rack with a stack of maps and tourist pamphlets, so I grab one of the maps before taking my seat. The cafe is big and bright. There's plants everywhere. They're on the walls, on the floor, and on the ceiling. Most of them are real and vibrant, obviously being well cared for. Even the lights that hung down from the ceiling have glass ornaments with little shrubs in them. Seems like I made a good choice coming here. Any place with a bit of nature in it. It's more comfortable to me than places without.
I guess I should find a place to stay.
Yeah, a little bit. Looking down to the map I traced the path I made from the park to this cafe. It's useful, but doesn't really tell me anything helpful about the houses in particular. I'll need to have a higher vantage point. Move my finger along the hills I noticed from outside, following the little brown path to a patch of green with a little mountain icon. That should work for now.
Miho!
My ears perk up right as the barista arrives and places my drink in front of me.
Thanks!
I reach over and take the warm cup in my hand, but the barista doesn't let go.
You ready for the rain tomorrow?
There's rain tomorrow?
Huh? It's gonna rain tomorrow.
I glance behind me out the window. I've never seen such a sunny and blue a day as I've ever seen.
How do you know that? There aren't any clouds out there. I'm just good with the weather. Anyway, if you forget, then you'll be sorry.
Okay. She finally lets go of my drink and heads back behind the counter. Thank you, exposition barista. People are weird. Does the barista pull that on everyone? Standing on the doorstep, I have my first sip.
Oh, this is really good.
Yeah. It's pretty plain, but well made. The coffee isn't too bitter, which is perfect for me. With a moment to myself, my thoughts turn inwards as I sip the warm drink. My first travels were in search of someone, but despite my whole life being sent trying, I haven't made any progress in finding them. So, I've taken to simply wandering, going wherever I wish at the time. I'd been itching for a change of scenery anyway, so I boarded. Well, snuck onto the first airship that I could. The best part about owning nothing but the clothes on my back is that I can pick up and leave whenever I feel like it. Good for you. Go explore the world. I took a moment to get my bearings and look around. I see a tired-looking person shuffling along the far footpath with a briefcase in their hand. They stop outside one of the buildings, take a deep breath, and pat their face a few times, and then go inside. Okay. Alright. Was that how it is? Was it supposed to be something else? Did I miss that cue? They must not be looking forward to whatever's going to happen in there. It's like that? Maybe they have to fight someone. Through the large glass windows on the other store, a fawn is trying on a pair of shoes, but they don't seem to fit her hooves. The people waiting with her look annoyed. I wonder if she fusses around with her footwear a lot. I mean, if she has hooves, that's a whole separate footwear issue that she has to deal with. For a while, I simply let the day roll by and watch the various figures who stroll by. People watching is fun, especially in such a busy city. Eventually, I go to sip my coffee, only to find nothing coming out. With no more reason to stick around, it's time to go. On the sunlit street, I look about to match what I can see with the map's directions. There's a tall green mountain in the distance ahead of me, which must be the one on the map. It'll be the perfect vantage point for the city. Ideally, I'll find an empty building I can crash in, but it's not necessary. A roof over my head would be nice, but I'm plenty used to sleeping outside under the stars. Sometimes it's better than sleeping in a bed. Encouraged by the plan forming in my brain, I set off on a long walk to the summit. Ha-ha! Okay, over here. Alright. The path to the mountain turns out to be less simple than a map made it look. First, a trail takes me along the waterfront, and then it turns upwards through a small forested area. Being among the trees and their tall shadows makes me feel at home. When the path leaves the woods again, I'm a little disappointed. It leads up a paved road, so I stick to the edge to avoid passing cars. Sometimes I take shortcuts through the yards or up unmarked paths. There are quite a few nice-looking homes right along the roadside. I take a mental note to go check them out when I'm low on money or food. I mean, that's fair. Not much further along, a concrete lookout offers another glimpse on the city below. A couple of airships are coming in to dock at the skyport, probably from one of the other floating islands. Floating islands! I forgot there's a whole bunch of lore on this that I don't know, and I'm excited to find out. There's still a ways to go to the top of the mountain, but luckily, the walk has been easy so far. I won't even consider it a hike. Eventually, I reach the final stretch of road, and I see where it curves ahead to the summit, and I hurry to the end. A metal railing spreads out like a crown on top of the mountain. As I go to toss my empty cup away, a pair of chatting tourists pass me by.
How far is it from here?
Oh, about an hour from the base of Mount Victoria, so a bit further from here.
Mount Victoria.
I'm glad I know what this place is called. I said the name out loud to help commit it to memory. Standing at the edge, I'm treated to a wonderful view of Wellington. Yeah, that's gorgeous. That's absolutely gorgeous. I love the slow pan. The city forms a crescent moon shape around the bay, which glitters like a sapphire from up here. The sun is starting to set, and that makes the water even more shimmery. Even more airships can be seen coming and going. I think that I can even see the edge of the floating island we're on, miles out into the open sky. Wow. Survey the city, using the skyport as a reference point. From up here, what felt like such a long chase really doesn't look far at all. If I strain my eyes, I think I can see the coffee shop from earlier. What was that barista said it was called? The Bell House? It's kind of tough to make out details. My hearing and sense of smell may be great, but my eyes aren't that much better than a human's. I've got great eyesight. Like, better eyesight than most people. Then I know something useful.
Look! Is that our house?
Good job, child.
Probably. What can you see from here?
I see Dad's car!
Okay, Dad didn't come? Alright. Not too far away, there's a little kid who's using a pair of metal tubes attached to a post. His mom is helping him aim at the city. It must be something that improves your vision. The moment the kid and his mom leave, I hurry over before someone else can get it. Two of them first. Mine! I press my eyes to the same spot that the child did, though. All I can see is black. Try moving it around, but it doesn't change. Is this thing busted? Some text is printed on the side. I have no idea what it says. There's a small slot, though, with a picture of a coin on next to it. Lucky for me, it's the coin that has the 50 on it. I put that coin I received from the barista into the slot and spin the lever. The machine needs my coin. And then, when I put my eyes to it again...
Yes!
Yes. Everything looks much closer now. Even the trees on the other side of the hill appear to be crystal clear detail, like I'm standing right next to them. I aim the viewing glass at the city and look around, trying to find a good spot to rest for the night. Houses are a no-go. Even if they look empty or abandoned, they can never let your guard down for a minute. Same with most shops. I don't have enough money for a hotel, and I won't risk sneaking into one of those either. As I'm studying the sights, trying to memorize as much as I can, there's a clicking sound, and once again, the view goes black. Stupid machine. Smack a couple times, check again. But I still can't see anything.
Well, whatever. Looks like I'm sleeping outside tonight. Guess this place is as good as any.
That's a good point. Head back down the trail a bit and veer off it into the underbush. Okay.
Not perfect, but it'll do.
It'll do. It's not exactly the wilderness, but just about everything around here seems cityfied to some extent. Usually when I make a den, I prefer to find a place far from other people, a place where nobody will find me. I doubt I'll find anything perfect, but this is good enough.
It's fine. Can't afford to be picky.
Facts. Once the trail I was on is out of sight, I transform again. My neck goes warm as my bead activates. A few seconds later, I'm on all fours. As a fox, the sensations of nature are much stronger. The earth beneath my paws is cool and refreshing, and the breeze whips through my tails like a massage. I hurry down a hill covered in grass so tall that it reaches way over my head. I could smell fresh water and follow the scent to a small stream where I'm able to parch my thirst. It's just as satisfying as the drink I got at the cafe, but in a different way. And being able to slurp up water is way more enjoyable than having to use a straw, or worse, one of those lids with tiny holes. For a little while, I follow my nose to some berries, some edible plants that'll do for a snack. Unfortunately, unlike the water, foraging is never as satisfying as eating human food. If I want a real meal tonight, then I should pick up the pace before it gets too late. Still, I want to get this done, now, while there's still daylight. I keep close to the stream and search for a place where the ground is soft. Before too long, I find a promising area. A small valley with hills on most sides and thick foliage on the others. I'm still close enough to civilization to hear cars and other city noise, but the area I'm in doesn't seem like it gets visited very often. At the very least, it doesn't really smell like people. The spot that I settle on is a nice mound of earth near the edge of the woods, partially hidden by a tall tree with low-hanging leaves. Even if no one comes by, it makes me feel better knowing that I'll be out of sight. And so, I start to dig. My claws rip away the dirt as I burrow downwards, widening the tunnel just enough for my sleek frame to fit. First I dig forward, and then downwards, widening out the area that's big enough for my whole body to fit. There's something I've been doing my whole life, even back when I was just a regular fox. I think that's why I don't mind it too much, compared to sleeping inside somewhere. It just feels right to me. Oh. It takes a little while, and by the time I'm finally finished, the first few stars have started to peek out from the sky. I shake myself clean of dirt that sticks to my coat, then transform back into being my human form.
Spread this here, a couple of branches here, some leaves there.
Nice. I walk around the valley a bit, checking from different angles.
Not bad for just an afternoon's work.
If we weren't looking for it, I don't think you'd ever notice anything out of place. All that digging has made me work up an appetite. Not the kind I'll be satisfied with just a few berries.
Ugh, I'm so hungry. I haven't had a real meal since yesterday.
Aww. My stomach rumbles painfully. I've been so busy since arriving here in Wellington that I kind of forgot just how hungry I was. I'll grab some human food back in town. Casting one last glance at my afternoon's work, I set off towards the city.
Work never ends. Time to get some food!
Food! Uh-huh. Yes, let's go steal stuff. I'm a bit disappointed when I finally get back to the busy street from before. I was hoping that it would be emptier now, that all the stores would be closed. Turns out, I was half right. A lot of the stores have gone dark for the evening, but there are just as many people walking around now as there were earlier. In fact, there might even be more. The patio of a restaurant has a bunch of tables full. A mermaid is sitting in the fountain I sat by earlier, chatting with a cyclops. Even the cafe that I visited is crowded now, with a line almost at the door. So there's mermaids, there's cyclops, there's fawns. So, like, her being a fox is not out of the ordinary, because apparently this is very much like a mixed race society. After pacing up and down the road for a while, I sit down and try to figure out what to do next. I'm not too worried about what would happen if I got caught stealing. Just escape, obviously, and even if they somehow manage to catch me, it won't be an issue for very long. See, there's something different about me that makes me extra good at being a thief. It's not just the skills I practice over the years, like picking locks and sneaking around. No, it's a bit more special than that. Without fail, every single person I meet forgets about me by the next day. I don't know why, but I don't really care either. It's magic, and that's all I know about. Really useful magic. Everywhere I go, no matter how careless I am, all of my problems are solved by the next day. Doesn't mean there's no danger. I've been caught in the act before, beaten or harassed before I could manage to get away. I've even lost a few prizes that I stole fair and square because I had to get going in a hurry. I stole fair and square. But if someone sees me but isn't able to stop me, I know that I'll be home free. Sure, they might remember having something stolen, but they'll never know who did it. It almost makes things too easy. Right now, it would be smarter to just come back even later, in the dead of night, and hope that there are no people around. I'll be able to take my time browsing without having to worry about making a quick escape. Where's the fun in that, though? I walk casually up and down the street, glancing into the windows without being too obvious about it. Some stores still have customers inside, while others have locked their doors and shut off the lights. Most of the restaurants are still open, and are only making me hungrier. Stealing from restaurants is a bit much even for me, though. I've tried it before, but the cluttered kitchens, as well as all the tables and chairs, make it hard to get around. Plus, I'll have to learn the hard way that there are plenty of hot or sharp things for angry cooks to throw at you if they try to as you try to make your way out. Instead, prepackaged or pre-made foods are my best friends, things that I can grab multiples of at once and stuff into my pockets. If I'm really lucky, I'll find a place with refrigerated sandwiches or salads, something pretty good hot food that gets thrown out. I wouldn't believe the kind of stuff that's available if you don't mind sifting through the garbage a little bit. It sounds like Stardew. It's not ideal, of course, but a hot meal is a hot meal. I know plenty of foxes who've eaten much worse.
Target spotted.
Target spotted. It's perfect. A small convenience store. Snacks lined up behind the front window. Even better, the shops on either side of it are closed too, so there's not many other people in the area.
Locked, huh? Not surprising.
I head down a nearby alley and find the back door, which is probably where they bring in new products. The alley is dark to begin with, and my dark clothes help me hide even better. I glance around the alley, glad, like always, for my excellent night vision. Nobody's watching. Nobody's even around. Pull my hood over my ears, tuck my tail between my legs, leaning against the sturdy door. To anyone not looking closely, I'm sure that I appear nothing more than a shadow. I dig around in my pocket until I find my trusty lockpick, and then set to work on the door. It isn't a complicated lock at all, just a regular keyhole. With a click, the latch springs open just a short moments later.
Bingo. Huh?
I try to tug the door towards me, but there's a chain on the inside that keeps it from opening very wide. There's no way a human could fit through the gap, but it'd be easy for a fox. First, I slink away for a bit, idling on the nearby street like a regular pedestrian. I want to see if anyone shows up, just in case I triggered a silent security system. After about 10 minutes, I decided safe. I transform on the cover of the darkness in the alley and slip into the building before transforming back. The shop isn't very big, and receiving area is just a small hallway with a few boxes of soda and candy bars on the floor. Grab a couple of my favorites and shove them into my pockets. When I creep into the main area, I'm sure to stay low to the ground, trying to avoid being seen from the outside. Not exactly hidden, but as long as I don't stand up, I shouldn't attract anyone's attention. I move fast, cramming as much into my coat as I can. Cookies, protein bars, popcorn. I'm not very picky. When my coat starts to feel heavy, I grab a plastic bag from behind the counter and transfer some of my loot into that. Take a few bottles of water and sports drinks for the coolers. Just about to leave, spot a few of those coveted plastic wrapped sandwiches that I was thinking about earlier.
Jackpot!
Jackpot! Fill my bag with sandwiches until it's almost overflowing. Then I head out the back, head back out the way I came in, until I was in and out in under 5 minutes. I've got enough supplies to last me a few days. When I step into the alley, I glance around in both directions, making sure no one saw me emerge from the store. I don't see anyone, but my neck prickles as if someone is watching me. I sniff the air, but I don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Nothing that wasn't there before. Still. What just happened? Suddenly there's a flap of wings and a bat flutters past me out of sight of his shadows. Because wherever my head, it disappears from sight up street.
Oh, that's it?
Okay. Loud breath I was holding and start making my way back towards the mountain where I made my den. I let the bag swing from my arm as I walk, whistling a song I heard earlier. I'm not able to keep a smile off my face.
All in all, not a bad first day.
I was about to say that's not bad.
I've got a nice nest, food to spare, and plenty of places to explore tomorrow.
Yeah. There have been plenty of days in my life where I had none of those things. I unwrap one of the sandwiches that I grabbed and take a big bite.
Nothing beats the taste of hard work.
Nice. I hope Wellington continues to treat me well while I'm here.
So tired. I'm gonna sleep so well tonight.
I unpacked everything I got from the store, as well as the treasures that I always carry with me. My lockpick, my wallet, a few pretty stones. The only thing that I leave in my jacket is a small scroll.
Can't get that damaged or dirty.
I change back into a fox and then dig another hole near the entrance to my den. This one is much simpler and shallower. I bury some of the snacks I stole before covering them back up with dirt.
Not like anyone's gonna come by and swipe my things, but better safe than sorry.
Facts.
I stole this myself after all.
Not bad. It's always smart.
Don't want it being stolen from me.
Facts. Oh, wait. Can I go back? No, I can't go back. Stuff like my pen and my favorite rock go into the burrow with me since I like having them close by. Once I've got everything where it belongs, I climb into the hole myself, turning a few circles before settling down with my tail wrapped around me. From here, I have a perfect view of the stars. I look up at the clear night sky through the mouth of the tunnel. I feel bad for all the people way down on the underworld.
Can they even see the stars from there?
It's a great question. So there's an underworld still, which I'm guessing is the irregular Earth? I've never been to the underworld, so I have no idea. Can't imagine falling asleep without them. Comfortable and safe, I close my eyes and quickly slip off to dreamland. I wake up to trouble, or at least a threat. We're gonna leave that on a cliffhanger. I hope you are enjoying this. I hope that my voice isn't putting you to sleep. If it is, let me know. Also, let me know what you think about this. I'm excited to keep playing with you. And with that, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.